Good day to you, everyone. Thank you for joining me here today. This is a pick a card reading for the personality of the person you are dealing with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. You can watch this if you wonder about a particular person's personality or your own personality. It is you that set the intention with where your focus are at when you look at the different piles and makes your choice. Often the divine also hijacks your question to show you something that you have missed out on, so you might get answer about a person you didn't intend to ask about. This information, though, is not to be used to hurt someone else or to tell them to their face what kind of personality they have. Help them and support them to figure it out for themselves. So, let us begin. You can choose intuitively from these 3 decks that will be named 1, 2, 3 from left to right. The one that instantly catches your interest is the right pile and will make your I will make your reading with it. Don't overthink it. Go with the first choice, the number or pile you are most drawn to. That is the most intuitive. For me, it usually is the one I'm trying to avoid, and then I realize I'm trying to avoid it, and then I pick it, and that's the right one. So it can be different for different people. I will give you a moment to choose. So while I'm tuning into your reading, okay. So I will start with pile number 1. That's this one far to the left, and it's the CHRYSALIS. I can show you the box. It's the CHRYSALIS Tarot with Holly Sierra and Tony Brooks. And I put a little amethyst here on top. I have a little bit oracle card to see what's in their heart. So when I open the deck for this person, pile number 1, I see the Moon and the Weaver. So Weaver is Queen of Scrolls. So with the Moon card, it's a person that is adept to their emotions, and with the Queen of Scrolls is also a very wise person. Person with a lot of knowledge and probably spiritual knowledge. So I call the divine with love and light, and here we have 3 of scrolls together with the Weaver, and we can see here that there's a fox that is a little bit sad. So this is someone's plans that didn't go exactly as they wanted, even though they had all this wonderful experience. Something went against them. So I call the 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world, and here we have 2 of mirrors together with the Weaver. So I think it was in love that things didn't work out for this person. With the 2 of mirrors, they are in love with someone that's very close to their heart. So I call the 6 elements, and here we have Ace of Stones still together with the Weaver. That seems to be the significator. So this is the person's true personality. Ace of Stones, it's some kind of opportunity that comes within this lover's problem that this person has. So it's actually a gift to build on their experience and make them even more wise than what they were before. So 6 elements: earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether. 6 of spirals to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for the people that chose number 1, the pile number 1, to show a particular person's personality, the one that they thought of when choosing this pile. Okay, so it's done there. Okay, so I'll just shift the deck like this and start with this person's reading. So this is their look or appearance to the world, and this is their roots, kind of where they came from, what's the root to why they are the way they are. And this is their heart, how are things with their emotions. And this is their moral values and thought patterns. And this is what good qualities do they have there. What is their not so good qualities there. And this is how is the divine testing this person. And this is the conclusion for this whole reading. So since the Queen of Scrolls came, it might be a swords person, like air person. Gemini, Libra or Aquarius doesn't have to, just shows a person that is thought oriented, and they listen a lot to their own experience, and they might be sometimes a little bit suspicious, but mostly a very fair and just person. They have usually very high moral values, but might tend to be a little bit sticky, or sometimes a little bit they have so much knowledge, so for others they might see like a know-it-all, but they can't help knowing everything. Okay, so yes, that was a joke. Okay, so their look or appearance to the outside world. And we have the visionary, so this is the Knight of Scrolls, so the Knight of Air. And the Knight of Air is a person that, it's like a student, it's a person that wants to know everything. Okay, so they are curious, they put their nose everywhere, they always have an opinion of things. They are always seeking for the truth, and they might be, when they have found a truth, they might be very defensive of it, so they can sometimes become a little bit fundamentalistic. Okay, it takes the time for them to change their mind about something that they have made up their mind about, because they're putting a lot of personal they kind of put their own personality into what they know, so it tells them something about themselves, like how good or bad they are. So they don't even easily want to change opinion about things, because then they think that they didn't know everything, so there was something wrong with them. But that's not, of course, how it is. The more fluid you can be, the more you can adapt to learning new things, the more curious you can be, the more you can learn. So it's good to have an open mind. And with the best, when a person is on its best, this will be a person that is open for new visions. Okay. So this is their roots, where they are coming from, and we have 7 of Stones. So this person have had some difficulties in their life. They have put a lot of effort into things and a lot of their talents. They have really tried hard to reach their goals, but they have seemed to be impossible blocks in the way for them to reach where they wanted to go. So they might feel a little bit unjustly treated by the world and wonder, okay, so I put in all this effort and it never pans out well. What's the problem? So they might come from a situation where you had to work very hard for money, or I'm hearing a song. I think it's a song anyway, because it's words with lyrics or songs behind the tunes behind it. So work so hard for the money. I think it might be like a 70s song or something like similar to that. So hard for the money. Okay, so I'll see if I find it, but that's the song for this person. So they come from background where they had to work very hard for the money, or where people had very high working morals. So they told them, you need to be like this, or you need to achieve this kind of goals, and you need to put this much effort into things, and money doesn't grow on trees. So it's like a person that have got a sense of high moral values, what they need to put into the world. But I feel they are not happy with this, or they are some way in clash with this, their roots. They might have a little bit of problem to living up to their parents' expectations. So they are trying to work out a path of their own here with the visionary, the Knight of Scrolls. So they are trying to find new ways, to not do in the traditional way, but actually do things in a total new way. So this is their heart, how are things with their emotions. And we have the 7 of Scrolls, so it's 7 of Swords. So they don't have real clear communication with their emotions. They don't know their emotions. I think they have suppressed their emotions pretty well. They don't really want to know what's behind these doors. So they have tried a zillion different things to avoid their emotions and to do things that is not accordingly with their emotions. They have tried to be logic, and they might have tried to be a little bit almost like a conqueror over the things that they have faced in life. So they have tried to find out the smartest, the best, the most, maybe sometimes most cunning way to solve things, instead of listen to their emotions or to their heart. So this might be a person that has a little problem sometimes with moral values. Sometimes they put their own needs above other people's need in an unbalanced way. So this is the clarification card for this, their emotion, and it's from the Romance Angels Oracle, and it shows chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. So I think their feelings and their heart chakra is on the level of physical attraction. So they go with the person that they feel most physical attraction towards. So their love isn't more deep than that, and it's because it's fear here. We need to be brave. We see the face of the lion here. Have a brave heart to be able to go through these doors and look at our emotions. This person tries to be logic about a thing that you can't really be logic about. You need to be emotional about it. So therefore their heart is not developed past this sexual phase. It's like their heart chakra hasn't been given so much attention that it has grown past that love is sex and sex is love. Okay. And they might not value love at all, or just want sex-based relationship, and so on. Okay. So this is moral values and thought patterns, and we have the Pilgrim, which is the Page of Scrolls. So it's another air energy. It's the little child air energy. So this kind of emphasizes the vision of them being a revolutionary person. They are still a little bit childish and still making revolution towards authorities. They don't want to do things in the traditional way. They want to do things in the new way. This might be a young person. Also, when we see to how they see on love and sexuality, they are a little bit in this new modern polyamorous kind of energy. But with the Pilgrim here, they have the best intentions. They came to the world as a very curious soul, and the traditions of their forefathers have somewhat suffocated them. So therefore they have made a revolution towards the traditions. So much revolution that they might have shot themselves in the foot a little bit, because they don't want to even look at their emotions. So this is probably an emotional, troubled person, but a very smart person. They have the best intentions, but because they are this revolutionary, they will not go with traditions. So you can't really trust them in situations that is, for example, about love. So this will be what good qualities do they have? And we have Merlin, the hero. So it's the fool in this deck, and we can see the snake here. So this is very fresh new energy that have come from the divine and incarnated here as a soul. They might be really, really old, like a really, really old soul. That have come full circle. So when people get really, really old, they almost come back to this innocent state of a child, which also shows a very enlightened person. But in this case, this has been clouded somewhat with this, that they weren't really appreciated when they came to Earth. They had this total new vision of things, and maybe a very like a sensitivity with them that wasn't supported or helped to develop. So they have stayed in this revolutionary phase and is kind of immature, but it's a very beautiful soul behind all this. It's just that when they came, they weren't respected because they were just a child. So things were shuffled down their throat, that they were supposed to be this and that and this and that, and yeah, a lot of rules. And this is what they are making revolution towards, and that makes them a little bit impossible to deal with, okay, because it's their way or the highway, because they are now they feel this so strong that they had to align with their soul. So they are doing it. It's like a pendulum movement. Their parents and the society wanted them to be extremely here, and they were a person that came with new ideas. So to be able to come with these new ideas, they are extremely here, so in extreme opposition. And this pendulum movement might pendule like this over their life. They might be really attached to their family, and like everything that the family says is law. But in the same time, they make revolution towards their boyfriend and girlfriends and friends in general, or people that they encounter professionally, and act a little bit immature and childish in this situation, might betray trust and responsibility. And then it's pendulum like this. So this person will be a little bit Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde, or Mr. Hyde. So it's because when you see them, they are probably very attractive. So they will be, you will probably see their beautiful soul, but they will act in ways that you couldn't foresee. So you won't be able to feel calm together with this person. You always feel like you're out on thin ice, or that if you went through the ice, they wouldn't help you because they don't want to go there. They don't want to go to, check out any feelings. So what's not so good? What is their not so good qualities? And we have 2 of stones. So it kind of shows this I just told you with the extremes, like this pendulum movement, because they haven't really taken the leap to be themselves. This is their soul. It's very strong, but they need to take the leap and become themselves. They don't have to make revolution. They can just be themselves. They don't have to worry so much about what other people think. They can start to explore themselves and find out who they are, instead of trying to be what people want them to be, and then like a shadow make extreme revolution towards what people want them to be. So if they could make the jump and be themselves, that would be a good thing. So this is a Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde personality. How is the divine testing this person? And we have 2 of spirals, so that's 2 of wands. So the divine is not letting them move forward. We can see this also with the 7 of stones, the roots, and this is the how the divine is testing them. So both these cards is a little bit cards that points to delays. Things are not working out for them. It's always delays or hold-ups, but it's because the divine wants them to stay and look at themselves and their own emotions. So this is the conclusion from this reading, and we have a 3 of spiral. So it's a beautiful soul coming out here. It wants to come out and play. It just needs to make revolution towards its conditioning and align with its own soul and become calm and self-assured, and know that they are good in the way that they are, so they don't have to make these extreme movements. They can actually be themselves and move forward on their very spiritual road. So I think this will be a very interesting character to grow together with as like a spiritual person, but they need to open their emotions, and they need to have a better self-esteem and also better self-awareness, so they can see that they are being a little bit self-destructive at times, and is not really aligning with what's the best interest for their soul. Okay, so overall a beautiful person, but that is a little bit on the wrong track, but could easily find themselves be back on the right track if they just learn to love themselves. So I will show you this a little bit from the above, and now I will take together the cards and make ready for pile number 2. So, breaking up the story a little bit to the next reading that will be done with this deck of cards. So, okay, pile number 2. It's this one, and it's the Lovers tarot deck. Looks like this with Jane Lyle. And this stone, I don't remember its name, but it's very good to heal my heart and throat chakra. That much I know. So this is how I used it. So when I open your deck here, I see 8 of Pentacles together with the Fool. So this person seems to be a very positive person, like having a positive personality. There's nothing they can't handle, but they also need, I think, a lot of support in their lives. It feels like a very positive person, but they need to be loved. So I call the Divine with Love and Light, and here we have the 6 of Cups with the 8 of Pentacles. So they don't like to have fallouts with other people. They're always trying their best to make harmony in all relationships, and they are quick to apologize if they have done something wrong. With the 8 of Pentacles, they have this capacity to try things over and over and over again to make things work. They don't want to give up on things. They might be a very loyal friend and a very loyal lover. So I call the 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world, and here we have the 2 of Wands together with 8 of Pentacles. So 2 of Wands shows also that this character has boundaries, so that's good. It might be something that they have been forced to develop over time to survive and to not be bullied. Okay, this seems to be a very sweet soul. So I call the 6 elements, and here we have the Hierophant together with the 8 of Pentacles. So it's not only a sweet soul, it seems to be a very old soul, and a person that have lived in many different societies all over the world in their past lives. So they have collected a lot of knowledge, and they might be a spiritual seeker as well, a person that wants to advance their soul and learn a lot of things from the life that they are living. They might have a lot of spiritual knowledge, but in some cases this person hasn't acknowledged their own authority just yet, or just beginning to. They might have put others' authority above their own in previous situations or lifetimes. So 6 elements: earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether, to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear people that have chosen pile number 2. So this will be your reading. So I'll just tune in for a few seconds. so I will just divide your pile like this. So the first card here, this is the person's look or appearance to the outside world. And it's that one. Yeah, turning it around. Knight of Cups. Okay, so it's a very sweet person, very sweet personality. They might be a little bit fickle when it comes to love, a little bit on and off, because they are very emotional and vulnerable. So one word might set them off into a spin or become a little bit dramatic. But they have the best intentions, and they want to be in love and have love relationships or friendship relationships, a lot of social things going on, but on a very friendly level, not this always this high and loud situations, but they want to feel secure and kind of taken care of. And as I said, they are quick to apologize if they have done something wrong. And they have a goal with everything. They want to share love with other people and make the world to a more harmonious place. This might be a water personality. This is a Pisces that's being shown here. Can be Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, but can be any sign. But a person that has this quality of them that they can harmonious a situation, make it harmonious. By saying, okay, so I'm sorry, even if it wasn't really their fault, but they just love the other person so much, or they want so much for them to be friends, so it's easy for them to ask for apology, even if they haven't done anything wrong. So this is their roots, and we have a King of Swords here. So they might have been brought up by people that was a little bit cold-hearted and hard to reach. People that was very just and fair, but maybe didn't have so much emotional display. They can also come from more rich families, or families that have some kind of authority in society. So they have had a lot to live up to, and they probably feel like they failed in the eyes of this character. So that's why they are so eager to make a good appearance and to keep people in their lives, because I think if they have had a parent that was a little bit like this, they might have felt that they were not good enough and that they could never achieve the way that this person, if this is the parent, looked at them and what they wanted for them. Maybe they wanted them to be a lawyer or this or that, and they couldn't live up to it, because I think this is a little bit more artistic kind of soul. So they don't fit in very well in the academic world. They want to go with their feelings, not with their logic mind. They use their logic mind, but they choose more with their feelings. The King of Swords can also show them in previous lifetimes. I don't think it's this lifetime, that where they have been a little bit more like had this more uplifted roles in society and in their lives, but they have learned so much from living these lives, so they have kind of seen that power isn't worth so much. It's like a person that have been to zillions of wars and realized that what are we fighting for? What are we fighting for? Why do we have these wars in the first place? I don't understand how we got here, even. I don't remember. And then just realize that there's other values in life than to be in power or have big money. So they have chosen this path of love. Okay, so this is their heart. How are things with their emotions? And we have a King of Pentacles here. So the King of Pentacles together with the King of Swords, it shows that this is a person that you probably can trust through and through. They will have high demands on you too. because this is a person that have high demands on themselves. So they will have high demands on you too. So sometimes if you don't fulfill their expectation, they might become a little bit dramatic. But in general, this is a person that you can really trust. This can be a person to commit with, or a person that is they easily want to go into committed situations. They want their peers close, they want their family close, the family that can accept them for who they are at least. And they're also always taking responsibility and making conscious choices to provide for their family or their friends or their circle of people. They might also be very creative and work very hard. We saw the 8 of Pentacles in the beginning. So even if they have this very creative, a little bit dreamy side of them, they also take a lot of responsibility when it comes to work and income and providing for a family or making life safe. So it's really like a rock in many senses, because they have an open heart and they have high moral standards, and they are also very caretaking, and their goals are long lasting. They don't change their minds so quickly about who they love or where they want to go. So this is probably a very passionate person that works maybe their whole life to reach different goals. So they might excel at things and become like experts or really good at their profession. So this kind of passion backed up with this kind of solidity. This is Aquarius and this is Capricorn. It makes a very complete kind of person. So I also took Romance Angels to show what's in their heart, and we have new love here. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. So if there's a new relationship that this person is in, they are very serious about this relationship, and they want it to grow to more serious levels. It might also be that they want to have or show like a new kind of love to the world, that they want to have this love that's more chivalry. So it's actually very beautiful. Moral values and thought patterns. And here we have another king. So this person looks so humble and so sweet and so innocent, but it's real authority behind this person. I think they are very advanced soul that have lived through a lot of different lifetimes and learned great many things. As I said, they might have been a big authority in many of their lives. If they are young in this life, they probably still are trying to grow into their own pair of shoes. But if they are older, I think they have much more authority, but they still have this very beautiful open heart. The King of Wands is the King of Kings. It's the king that can rule a kingdom for thousands and thousands of years with peace and good health. Okay, so it's the fairy tale king, the good king that is some way going to be challenged by a dragon or something else. But the King of Wands here, it shows a person that's very spiritual as well. It's a spiritual traveler or seeker. This person, I see them might have been like monks in many of their lives. They can also have been kings, but they have been working very diligently with spiritual questions and philosophical questions about why are we here, and really worked very hard with this as a profession. So I think in this lifetime they are more light-hearted and take things more easy, because they have this foundation groundwork already been done. So they don't have to prove themselves to be like a big person, or they don't have to show off. They don't have to look good in other people's eyes. So it's very easy for them to be humble, because they are built up they have a great foundation to them with what they have experienced previous to this. what are the good qualities this person has? And we have the Wheel of Fortune. So I think this person is also a little bit of an adventurer. It's a person that wants to, they still have this curiosity with them, even if they have seen almost everything, they still have this curiosity with them. And we can notice also here that they have 3 kings. The only kings that's missing is the King of Cups, and here we have instead the Knight of Cups. So it shows that they don't take authority in their love relationships. They kind of go along with what the other person wants and feel into their moods. So they are not this person that tells in a relationship, you need to be like so and so, and this is what you need to do to make this healthy. They are more asking it. They are more intended to go with the person and kind of flow with them. So they are very humble with this, but they do have a lot of experience, and they are a person that can probably heal a lot of other people's karma and trauma. They go in relationships with them and give them also this stability and foundation, make them courageous enough to face their own fears. So I feel a real positivism with this person. They are working together with the divine in a very humble way, but yet they have this authority with them, and they are very strong characters, so they can really be of help to other people, and often also by showing a great example of how successful they are, because this person is kind of set out to become really successful in their life, and they can therefore be a good example for others how to become happy. It's kind of to be this kind of person. And they're always interested in meeting new people also. What is not so good qualities with this person? And we have the Hermit. So at situations, at some occasions, they can become broody and withdrawn, and it's when they need to go back to their roots, kind of, because I see the black color also here, and need to set more boundaries, not give so much of themselves. They go back to the King of Swords character, where they can become cold and distant and act broody, and so they can be this sparkling personality and always fixing everything and being so creative, and then they go into like the dark night of the soul a little bit. So for the outsider, this person can look a little bit like they have manic depression. I think they call it borderline these days, but it's a person being they can be a big artist. We have a Swedish artist, or several Swedish artists that's a little bit like this. We have Avicii, and then there's a person that called Robert Patterson. I hear his song, so I can put this song. It will be your song. It's My Own Worst Enemy. Worst enemy. So both these characters is and were, because Avicii took his own life for this reason among others. A person that is so hardworking, and they're achieving on a very high level. They have a lot of things with them, so they are almost like an expert in many areas of their life, so it's easy for them to excel at things, but this takes a lot of energy from their body. They might not realize really that they are in a body that has limits, so their soul is almost burning through their own body, and in the end it will make the body depressed. It doesn't have the capacity to fulfill the needs of the soul. And it might be that the soul is vibrating a little bit too high to be in this reality, and this might hurt a lot for these kind of people. It might give them a lot of pain throughout their body, because their body can't really hold their energy. So this is why they need to go into hibernation, at times, and people will not recognize them. So this person that was so sparkling and so positive and so full of life, and now it's like their flame has shaded, and they are they can be angry, and they don't want to talk with people, they don't want to have anyone near them. Okay, so it seems like they are a little bit like manic with their work. Yes, and this is how the divine is testing this person and its strength. So it's the soul that needs to take place in the body. So they need to be, it's like the bringer, the forebearer, like a person that goes before everyone else, like a pioneer, and heighten the frequency of normal people. Okay, so if they can stand being in their body, and even with the growing pains, because their soul is too high frequency, if they can stand being in their body will evolve. Okay, and this will evolve the humankind as well in a very beautiful way. So this person is kind of the one that shows the way, or make the pathway for us other to follow. So they are sparkling the evolution of mankind. So again, the Strength card is a very creative card, and it shows this different aspect: 9, Hermit, 8, Strength card, how they are lustful and full of life and full of creativity, and then they go into hibernation. And you can see this is in Swedish it's called schiffer. I don't know the name in English, but it's stones that it's actually sand or deposit that has been put in layers. So I feel that they have a lot of memories that also catches up with them at times from past lifetimes and traumas. So, and this needs to be healed. And we have the 8 of Pentacles in the beginning of this reading. So it shows a situation that needs to be gone through again and again and again and again and again, until the evolution of mankind is actually happening, or have happened. So I think this person has gone down a lot of times to heighten the evolutionary state of humanity. They might not go down frequent in life. They come in certain lives to sparkle a new awareness, but they don't. They might not come down again shortly. They might stay in higher realms and help as a soul creature from there. Like working with the divine and helping people, maybe as a spiritual guide to a group of people or to a significant person. So their challenge and how they are tested is to be able to their body needs to contain their soul, and this is difficult for them, but they need to ace this. Okay, they need to be able to make this happen. So this is how the divine is testing them. And this is the conclusion of this reading. And we have a Queen of Cups here. So it's kind of a, we have Knight of Cups and the Queen of Cups. We are still missing the King. Because this person is holding a very humble approach to life. They don't show themselves as being like the chosen one. I'm thinking about Matrix, and how this guy that was the hero in Matrix come down to this special world and was going to find out from some kind of shaman or witchy person if he were the chosen one, and she said no. He was the chosen one, of course, but he was never supported by the surrounding to be such, or he was and he wasn't, and he was and he wasn't. So it's keeping this person humble, and I think it's helpful because if you are following your own conviction of what's right and what you want to do from what's in your heart, instead of what other people expect from you and the things that you need to live up to, it's much greater potential for you to actually live and fulfill your mission, okay, or their mission if you're asking about another person. So Queen of Cups, their heart is in the right place. They have a great intuition. They can feel other people's feelings, so they are very empathic. They have already walked a mile in your shoe. They have a lot of experience, so they can kind of tell you what you're feeling. Sometimes they can tell it with words that in a way that so you weren't able to describe your own emotions like this. And it's because they have this vast experience as this spiritual worker through many, many lifetimes. So overall, nice personality and a person you can trust, and forever kind of lover that wouldn't be disloyal. And also, well, they can be broody at times. And it might be coming in a new love to this person's life, or they are actually coming with the vibration of this new, more chivalry love. Okay, so I hope this helped. I want you to look at this from an above so you can see the cards a little bit. So and now I'm going to take this together and go at pile number 3. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope this was helpful for you to understand yourself or the person that you're dealing with. Yes. Okay, so I'm trying to break up this the story, but these cards are new and a little bit sticky to each other still. Okay. So the next deck of cards I'm going to use is Tarot of Dreams with Zero Marchetti. And it's this pile number 3 with a quartz crystal, mountain rock crystal, I think we are calling it with Swedish words, but it's an English translation. And this is their heart and emotion clarification. So when I open your deck here, number 3s, I see the Fool together with Palace of Wands. So Palace of Wands is an additional card to this Zero Marchetti's deck, Tarot of Dreams. It's coming above the King, we can say. So Palace of Wands, it's the castle for the spiritual people, the dragon people. You can see the dragon there. So it seems like this is a very spiritual person with the Fool's energy here. They still come as an adventurer to this world, but they have known many worlds. Okay. So I call the Divine with Love and Light. And here we have 5 of Cups together with Palace of Wands. So this person is often experience disappointment in their lives, and they are probably here to work through disappointments and heartbreak and to not get what they want. They have already gotten what they want, like they have already achieved like almost nirvana. So now they are back to make like to test themselves a little bit harder, to go even deeper, to have even deeper challenges. So they want to, they are curious, they want to experience even more. But in this lifetime, right now, this person might be feeling like, oh God, why am I tested in this way? But it's their own soul that was probably a little bit bored and wanted to go down in life and experience some new hefty things. So I call the 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world, and here we see the 7 of Pentacles together with the 4 of Cups. So 7 of Pentacles is a situation which we have put a lot of effort into, but it doesn't seem to give any result. It's like ongoing struggles, and just putting in effort, becoming disappointed, putting in effort, disappointment, effort, disappointment. So if you wonder why this is like this, it's because you have a very curious soul. So I call the 6 elements. And here we have 2 of coins with the 5 of cups. So it seems like you are here to master and balance your own emotions and life situations, to be able to be cool no matter what happens. So this person, you or this other person, is here to find inner peace in rather difficult situation. It's not the tower situation. It's not the end of the world situation. It's more like things are not just working out. It's not going nothing is coming easy to this person. And it's not because they have problems with the law of attraction or anything like that, because they had the Wands Palace. They are actually already kind of full-feathered beings. It's just that they want to advance. So 6 elements: earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether. Knight of Wands in reversed. So they are going back, retracing their steps. They kind of have already excelled this course. They have already done this. If you think that life is like a video game, they have already gone through the whole video game and came out on top. And now they are going in and doing it all over from scratch on a more difficult level. So that's what I'm seeing with this person. Yes, okay, so it's done. So I'll just tune in for a few seconds here. So I'll just divide the pile and start with the reading. So the first card here, it's the look or appearance to the outside world. And we have the Chariot in reverse. So they might look as a person that's not particularly successful, that always are blocked with their success, and they try things but it doesn't work out, and they might have a troubled life. It might be even deeper problems. It doesn't have to be only surface, like not getting the job they want or the perfect partner. It can be deep difficulties, as drug problems, deep relationship problems, deep problems with life in general. So they have chosen probably to go down in a life situation with a body with maybe a low conscious level, and also with background patterns or ancestral karma that's a little bit weighing on them. So if this person seems troubled, it's actually to their own fault, because they wanted this, okay? They wanted to go down as brave souls and do something that was a little bit that was really difficult and also a little bit dangerous. We can lose our souls in these kind of situations and create karma for ourselves, so we will be lost in this video game for many lifetimes. But this person has already excelled at some point and needed to start over to actually have something to do, okay? So this is their roots, and we have a Page of Cups in the reverse. So it makes me think that they might have had a little bit of a difficult childhood where they were not fully supported, and no one saw their their vulnerability. They might have been treated as an adult on a very early age, being forced to take responsibility that wasn't theirs to take. So they might be a little bit undeveloped when it comes to being able to take care of other people's emotions and support other people's emotions, because no one has taken care of this person's emotions and supported them. So they don't have an example that they can follow. And this is the condition that they have chosen, like the harder life, to have a more difficult setting in this video game. So they chose to be not supported as children. This is their heart. How are things with their emotions? And we have a King of Wands here. So really this is a very passionate person, but together with this, they haven't really been supported as children. It can be a very jealous and possessive person, over controlling and other things. But in their lighter days, you will see this King of Wands living in their Wands Palace. So you will get a glimpse of this, and this might make you very unsettled with this person, because sometimes they are like the most wonderful person in the world, and other days they are like something that the devil dragged into your doorstep. So I'll see a little bit with, I have taken this like a clarification for their emotions. So we have a heart-to-heart conversation, honestly discuss your feelings with each other. So I think this person has these kind of relationships because they want to have problems to solve. So they're kind of creating a little bit of problems. It's their whole life is like this. They're creating problems for themselves and for others to have spiritual growth and evolution. And if you have no problem to discuss, you have nothing to fix and nothing to make better. So this person might be creating a little bit of drama in their lives, so they will have problems to solve and things to deal with. And with the King of Wands, together with this heart-to-heart conversation, this is a really wise person. Like in the bottom of it all, it's a very wise entity and a wise soul. But and you can see it underneath, and you might wonder, why are this person on drugs, or why are they an alcoholic, or why are they so childish in these relationships, or why can't they seem to get anything to work for them? Because you see their capacity. So the capacity is coming from their soul. Okay. So this is moral values and thought patterns, and we have a Queen of Wands here. So this person is very likely to work through things in a soulmate relationship, probably a very difficult one. Abuse might happen in this relationship. It might be situations with violence. It might also be situations that's very hard to solve, where we have both have very their mind set on different things, and it's not the same thing. So both these people are very they're very set on their goals. They're very passionate, and if their goals are not the same, they will kind of clash. So it's like the clash of titans with this this personality. So they seek out passionate relationship, and they burn like their life and their relationships and their work and the creations in both ends a little bit. It might be that they have very good careers, for example, but shitty love lives, or they might have beautiful romantic love relationships, but nothing is working out for them on other areas. They might be very attractive for people, so they live through many different relationships, but they can't seem to get things right in different areas of their life. So they have this like glow about them that makes people being drawn in like moth to a flame, but they are really this flame because they want to burn quick and bright and learn as much they can in such a short period as possible. So they might not live a long life, these kind of people, because they are pushing themselves and their soul and their body, their chariot, super hard. But it's a very advanced spirit, and that's why they are seeking out this very challenging lifestyle. So what good qualities do they have? And we have a Six of Swords, so it seems like they are a truth teller in many occasions. So sometimes with these people that has a little bit abusive tendencies, they might black out and not remember the bad things that they have done. But I think this person can remember this at many occasions and be able to see what has been done, and therefore be able to always develop. So this person might start out as a little bit of a screw up, but might end in a more in a better fashion, okay? Because of the Six of Swords is a very spiritual piercing eye. We can see inside our heart and inside our head, and we can make a very spiritual decision that is going to be good for everyone. So they still have this in them, that they are this higher kind of soul. So they screw up, so they have things to solve. That's what I'm seeing. What is their not so good qualities? And we have a Five of Coins. So they have yes, they have chosen this life of being a screw up. So they might be low on money at times, have a hard time paying their bill. They might be even bank robbers or people, that never pays you back when they loaned money from you. So that's a bad quality with them. They might also have low self-esteem because they think that they are a screw up. They are not. They're just chosen like a life with very hard settings. So their test would be intense. But it might have broken their self-esteem to be born into this world and not be really taken care of. So they don't have the best self-esteem. They might also be inflicting themselves like hurt or be self-destructive in some ways to prove how stupid they are or how worthless they are. But in the bottom of it all, they know that they aren't. So if we should see this as famous people, it would be like Sid and Nancy kind of situation, like great passion but destructive life situations. Okay. So how is the divine testing them? And we have a page of coins. So we have both the feminine pages here. So it seems like their way out of this is to connect with their feminine side and heal what was hurt when they came. They also need to start to love themselves exactly as they are and embrace everything, because they went down in a body with a low consciousness that probably have hard karmic lessons on them. So if they could turn these pages around and realize that they are worthy of love, they will heal their ancestral karma back in time. So they will heal also their ancestors that have lived before them and in the end produced this body. They will also heal the lines to come, like for their children. So even if this person has the most difficult life, if they turn things around, if they use their very clever mind to turn things around, because they can see through all of this, and if they trust themselves enough to know that this is right, because when the person has this bad self-esteem, they might feel underneath the surface that I'm this great soul, I am not this screw up really. They know this in their foundation, but if they identify too much with their body that they have here and the life that they have here and their achievements here, they might not love themselves. So there can be a very big rift between their self-awareness and self-esteem and self-respect. So they might not respect themselves at all, but they are simultaneously aware that they are this great soul. So it might be very complex for them. But if they can just accept that they are this great soul and that they are here to be challenged and tested because they're chosen so, they can actually become a real asset here on this globe, because they are going in the deep, muddy, shitty waters, and they can tell us from their point of view how things are working out down there, so that we together as a species can make progress for how to help people that are in these situations. For example, how to help the masculine community to take responsibility for the violence that spread around the world, and in the same time still be able to love themselves and to know that the past is the past, and this says nothing about me, just talks about our ancestral karma that has been laid upon us because of many, many wars. And now I'm the one here, I'm being put here as this beautiful soul to make a change, a positive change with love. So if they can do that, they will be a real asset to this world and the humanity's evolution. So conclusion, and we have the Palace of Wands. So this is where they came from, and this is where they will return. So there's no screw-ups in this world. It's only very brave souls going into very difficult situations, screwing it up even more or finding their way out. It's a video game. It's Maya, illusion, or Lila. So it's not really real, but Earth is a perfect schooling ground, and it's a perfect way for God to experience herself through splitting the consciousness into small bodies and then coming back into the Palace of Wands when the work is done and making conclusion. Okay, so what did I learn here? And here's the person going over the river Styx to meet their maker, but it's actually to meet themselves and see if they were able to live up to their own expectations or not, and what they need to focus on for their next life and so on. So this is a collector of knowledge, but they do so in the most dark and very passionate places. Burning their candle a little bit in both ends while doing so, and maybe others as well. It can be very tiresome to live with a person like this. They might even push people to the brink of lunacy or depression, or becoming sick, or because they're stressing not only their own system but also other people's system. So if you are close to a person like this, you might want to caution yourself. You can take the teaching what this person has to bring you, but you don't have to let them drag you down. Okay, so I hope this helped. I want you to take really good care, and I will be back shortly with a new pick a card reading, and next time it will be about the situation you are in or they are in. So I hope take really good care. Bye bye.